Right. So we are live here on YouTube and Instagram, and it is officially Sunday, April 13th. So for those who are joining me for the first time, welcome. For those who have been with me for the last 2 weeks, this being the third week since I officially launched, thank you for coming back. So I am Natalie. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I am a friend, a lover of music, a follower of Jesus Christ, a citizen of heaven. But just to give some quick blurb about me, since the last time you guys have saw me, for those who are joining me for the first time, is I am a licensed clinical social worker who has experience working with teens and family, primarily with the focus of trauma. Was a clinician. I've also worked with individuals with disabilities. I've worked with individuals with developmental disabilities. I've worked with the elderly. I've worked with a whole host of different populations. But now I'm coming to you as a parent educator, someone who is able to help you navigate these years as you are parenting your teen. Other than that, you heard my spiel earlier about I am a friend, I am a sister, I am an aunt, I am a follower of Jesus Christ, I am a citizen of heaven, and I am a resource to you. So, uh, over the last 2 weeks, we had talked about a couple of different topics. So I'm probably going to recap what those were, and then for those of you who are joining me for the first time, that'll catch you up to speed. So we go live every Sunday at 5 p.m. Now I know next week is Easter Sunday, so the time might change, probably up to 3 o'clock, just because I'm the one who's hosting my family this year, and but typically we go live every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I am on the East Coast in the state of Connecticut. Um, so yes, and looking at my notes. Uh, so like I was saying earlier about me coming to you as a parent educator. Um, so as I introduce myself, I have worked primarily with parents and teenagers, so providing therapeutic services for teenagers with complex trauma um, experiences to be able to help facilitate some healing. Right. So I'm coming to you as someone who was a tenacious teen. So a tenacious teen, for those who weren't here before, is someone who is stubborn. I was stubborn. I was aggressive. I was moody. I didn't want to listen. I felt like I was unheard. I felt like no one didn't care. And those are a lot of the emotions that some of the teens today are experiencing in their lives right now. So as a tenacious teen in the previously, I am coming to you now on the other end, not just as someone who's experienced the rebellious activities that you're seeing with your teen today, but also in terms of providing insight as to what your teen might be experiencing with the added benefit of clinical practice as a treating provider, because I was treating and I still continue to treat teenagers as well as parents, as well as individuals who have some mental health concerns. Here, our mission statement is shaping parents through tenacious teens, because I'm sure as you are with and parenting your teen of today, that there are some challenges that show up. Just because they are in a time that they are experiencing a lot. They are teenagers, right? So we know that puberty happens now. And with puberty, we have our minds are changing. Your bodies are changing, the hormones are fluctuating, and they're trying to figure out who they are in context to their environment. Their environment could be at school, with their friends, as well as with their parents. And oftentimes you might feel like your child is bipolar, because they're with this person, when they're with this person, like their friends, they show up as one person. And then when they are with you, they might show up differently. They might show up differently at school, right? All of that right now for them is just trying to figure out who they want to be, who they should be, depending on the environment that they're in. Because as an adult who probably works, for you guys who work, I know I am also in the working field at a clinic, and code switching is something that is needed, but it's also a helpful skill to have. Now, does it feel like code switching with your teen in your home today? No, it feels like I said earlier, they are probably bipolar. They're presenting like they're bipolar. They're not really. It's just that because of a lot that's going on internally as well as externally, they are trying to make sense of it all, make sense of their world. And as I said earlier or last week, I said that the difference is that they just got here, right? They're only 14, between the ages of 14 and 18. So they don't know enough about the world or themselves to be able to really do life well, but you do, right? So you do, which is why a lot of the things that you're seeing probably doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but here we are here, and I thank you for joining me again today so we can help that make sense for what you're seeing so that there is not such a struggle or power shift in the home. So, and the questions that I've had for you guys in the past 2 weeks was about, we talked about being careful with your words about 2 weeks ago when we started, about how the words that you use with yourself can shape how you view the world, can shape how you choose to parent. And thinking about like when you're waking up in the morning, what those words sound like, when you're going up throughout the day, what those words sound like internally, not even before you even get to your teen, right? Here, we address you, the parent, first before we even get to the teen because parenting is hard. It is difficult to do it on your own. And those words that you are having throughout your week, that you are having in the morning, that you're having in a difficult time or an easy time, will shape what you see with your world. And then we had also talked about you first. So you, the parent first, you are the key to everything in your home. Well, I will say maybe not everything, maybe most things, right? What happens in your home starts with you. So if we're not being careful with our words, if we are trying to fill someone else's cup before we even address ourselves, that's what makes an added layer to parenting even more difficult, where it will be a challenge to be able to navigate yourself, but also the environment of your home. But no, we talked about you filling your cup first. So what do you need in order to make this manageable? So maybe it's spending more time with yourself. And we had talked about some self-care practices in terms of just creating structure. Maybe it's for someone just being able to recognize what those words or the voices that you're having in your mind are saying, because oftentimes people think about self-care in terms of bubble baths and getting your nails done, and all those things are great, right? Massages, going on vacation, all of those things are great. But what's also important is self-management. Being careful with your words is a part of that self-management. Filling your cup first is a part of that self-management. So managing yourself first before the world gets to you, before your teen gets to you, before your friends get to you, managing yourself first. So today is more about this encouragement for you guys today to be able to break this thing down in terms of the teen that you're seeing in your home, what's happening for you as a parent, and how that translates to the way you parent. And part of that, like I said earlier, was about being careful with your words and filling your cup first. Those are just very two essential boundaries that as a parent you need to have. You need to have, because when you don't fill your cup first, when you're not careful with your words, your frustrations end up rising, the stress ends up rising, and then that leaks into other areas of your life. So I know last week we talked about, well, what do you want to do during the week to help manage better? If you want to do anything during your week to help manage better. So I guess maybe for you, doing some evaluating this week. For those who are joining us for the first time, for those who have been with us the past 2 weeks, maybe this week is about evaluating. Evaluation, right? Knowing the climate that you live in your home and what you're seeing, knowing how you yourself are feeling and how that presents to your children, how that presents to your friends, how that presents even in your workplace. And thinking about, what do you want it to look like versus what it looks like now? As I think about that statement, I think about a lot of different things about what my day looks like to now and what I like it to look like for the rest of this week. And just envisioning what that might be. So for many of you, you have teens in your home who you would probably label as crazy. And if you would label them as crazy, then you're definitely in the right place joining me here today live, right? Because your teen is rebellious. That might be some of the things that you're evaluating. You're seeing that your teen is rebellious. You're seeing that you're repeating yourself a lot of times. You're probably seeing that you're getting angry and frustrated easily. You might be seeing that you're not managing all the things on your plate because one thing is taking precedence over the other. And maybe there needs to be some rebalancing between all the things that you have on your plate, which includes your teen as well as you. And just being able to say, okay, this is what it looks like. And what do I need just to make one thing better? Not all things, because trying to handle all things at one time is not going to be helpful for you to be able to see the changes or the transitions or the transformation that you're hoping to see. So we think about doing one thing at a time. Here we try to partialize here just because it makes things palatable, it makes things easier to handle. When you're trying to handle all the things on your plate, that's when things get a little dicey because you're only one person, right? Sometimes we need help and support, which hopefully you are here to get that help and support, but also thinking about who you have in your environment to be able to get some help and support. Anywho, I feel like I'm getting off topic, but I'm gonna get back on. Thinking about what your environment looks like, right? We talked about evaluating. So, and part of that evaluation process is just so that I can help you, right? Redefine your relationship with your teen. So, because managing your teen is difficult, and the goal here is to be able to shift your parenting from a dictatorship to maybe more of a supervisor. As a teen, they are wanting to do what they want to do. They may not do what you want them to do. I would say may, but most times they're not going to do what you want them to do. And we had talked about modeling last week and being able to model what you want things to look like in your home, also, but starting with yourself first. And with that, because there's a lot of different things to tackle with your teens in terms of the modeling aspect, in terms of how they present themselves in your home, and trying to manage the best way that you can. Some of you guys are coming from very different backgrounds. You might be coming as a parent who's been parented well, who've had all the resources, who had a lot of people who they were able to connect to. You might be another parent who you never had a good example of what it means to be a parent in your life. So this is new for you. This is uncharted waters, because parenting at any age is different, right? You parenting a teen is different than parenting a toddler, is different than parenting an adolescent, and then very much different than parenting a teen. These teen years will rock you, but you don't have to let it, right? So the goal is here, like we said, about dealing with you as a parent first so that you can have what you need to survive these teen years. And like I was saying earlier, surviving looks like putting some boundaries in place, being able to model for yourself what you want your week to look like, and being able to reevaluate what happens, what your home looks like right now with your teen, with whoever else lives in your home, because some of you guys might have multiple children in your home, and if you have multiple children, be blessed, be encouraged. Is what I say, because that is dealing with one teen is different than dealing with multiple age groups in the home. And that requires a lot of you as a parent. So I feel for you for sure. I know for me, I gave my parents a run for their money. I did not make things easy. I was definitely very stubborn. I would talk back a lot. I had a lot of things to say. So I know the teens don't make it easy for you to parent. And parenting is hard for a reason. And being able to manage better. So the goal is to manage better this week. So like I said, we're starting with evaluation, right? So evaluating, what does it look like for your home right now? Is it structured? Is it messy? Do you feel like there's a lot of emotions that are coming in and out between you and your teen and other people in your home? Do you feel as if you can't quite get things together, like there are multiple things on your plate? It might be job, it might be home, it might be parents, it might be dealing with your own siblings, and being able to see, are you managing it well, or are some things falling by the wayside? Are some things falling by the wayside? That might be part of the reality that you're evaluating, that it's just too many things and not enough of you. But hoping to shift that in either this week or in the upcoming weeks. So, and then thinking also about evaluation, bringing in what I said earlier about being careful with your words. So what do your words sound like? Are you doing things to take care of yourself, or is your ability to take care of yourself difficult because there's just too many things on the plate? Maybe this evaluation process for you might look like taking some things off the plate that don't belong to you, or that are just a nuisance, or just not needed. I'm thinking about myself right now. There are some things that could come off my plate that would make things easier for me to manage. And I'm saying that as someone who doesn't even have children. So for you guys who do have children, there's a lot that's required of you in different varying environments. So with work, with maybe some of you guys are in school, some of you guys are parents, and not just one team but multiple teams, or even different age groups. Um, so what's for you guys this week? It might be what needs to come off the plate. What is something you can put down to rest so that you can partialize and refocus, rebalance, figure out for this week what you can actually handle, and what are things that you might either need to seek out support for, or things that you might have to just put down for a moment or for a season. Evaluation might look like also how you are, like I said earlier, caring for yourself. Are you eating healthy? Are you able to get out and about? Are you sitting for most of the day? Are you just eating junk food? Are you able to cook a meal? Are you spending more time in your room than anywhere else? Are you isolating yourself where you are spending all your time with yourself and you're not engaging in your community in terms of with your friends, in terms of with your family, in terms of people at work? Are you trying to get it all done on your own, or are you asking for help? And asking for help is a big one. Asking for help is a big one for myself as well as probably for you too. You may feel like you don't have support, but I would say take another look around, and you probably have more support than you think you do. And for those who don't have enough support in their personal lives around, then the support is here. The support is in this live. The support is hopefully with me as you navigate some of these years, these next couple of years with your teen. So I know some of you guys have teens of varying ages. They might be 14, some of yours might be 18. Um, but either that, there's the mental framework that your teen is undergoing right now, as well as for you, is still the same despite the age of your teen. In terms of it is hard, it is difficult, it is challenging, it is thought provoking, it is anger inducing, it is somewhat of a struggle. And I know for me, being being a tenacious teen in the past, right? I definitely gave my parents a struggle for sure. Just because I was just rebellious. I was definitely strong willed. Um, Strong willed is how I'm going to say it nicely. Stubborn would be another way to say it. Stubborn was definitely the word, but I think about that for you and the parents of today who are dealing with the friction, with the resistance in your home, and being able to navigate that in a way that is less stressful for you so that you are not taking out your stress on yourself in different varying ways. You're not causing a change in your other relationships other than your teen. And so that you are also staying out of jail because your teen is not worth it. And I say that as a provider who has seen, who have counseled parents as well as teens who have literally fist fought because of the challenges that they've had in their home, who have actually caught charges because the police were called in a split moment second, in a split moment second where a moment escalated far beyond what you thought it might be. Now, my goal is hopefully that doesn't happen with the parents who are choosing to be an active parent and join me and partner with me as you navigate these couple of years. And also so that some of the stories that I've seen, being able to counsel and seeing the challenges that I've seen with the parenting and with the parents who not only have a teen who've experienced a lot of in their life, but as a parent, you experience a lot in your life, which is how you are parenting the way you choose to parent. I am someone who has training as a child parent psychotherapist, right? And what that and in that child parent psychotherapy, we are talking about the dual relationship between a parent and their child, and that program is specifically for children 5 and under. And we talk about the parent and how what the parent brings to the dynamic that influences the way that their child reacts to certain things. So sometimes because we're not filling our cup first, we are not doing what we need to do for ourselves first, it presents issues in our parenting style because things have gone unaddressed. So whether that means a mindset has gone unaddressed, maybe that's trauma for you as a parent that's gone unaddressed and that's influencing the way you show up today with your teen. Um, I feel like I said a lot, so I'm gonna hopefully wrap this up in a nice bow for you guys, just to get a full circle to what we talked about so far. Just being able to take this week to evaluate what your life looks like right now in terms of how you are showing up for yourself and how you are showing up for others in different environments. So work, school, children, maybe some of you have a spouse or a partner, just evaluating how you are showing up in those different environments and what you would like to see. How would you like it to shift? How would you like it to change? And tagging on the other two challenges that we had about being careful with your words. So noticing what those words sound like for you would be part of that evaluation process. Knowing how the words in your mind shift depending on what is coming up in your day. So whether it's being that you are in a good time right now, or maybe you're having a hard time because of whatever's happening at work or home. And then being able to fill your cup first. So addressing you, I'll put it to me because I'm not a parent, but you, addressing you, the parent first. How do you address yourself first before you even get to your teen, before you even get to your friends, before you even get to your job? Or are we just getting up, rolling out of bed, and just taking and holding things on by the hem of our pants? So that is all part of the evaluation process. Even part of the evaluation process might be noticing your emotions throughout the week. How are they shifting? How are they changing? Are you having more anger or more joy? Are you having more sadness or more fear? Is it fear that's showing up for you in the week? But noticing your emotions is also part of that evaluation process. And then once we are able to evaluate, we can come back again next week, and then we'll talk about what to do with what you found, right? Because part of the process is we can't shift things if we don't do anything with it. We need to be able to gather information, understand what our environment looks like, understand how we are showing up to be able to see how we want to shift that, how we want to change that, how we want to move forward. Because the goal is to move forward, is not to stay in the same place. And for some of you, moving forward might be shuffling forward. Some of you guys might be running forward. Some of you guys might be walking forward. Some of you guys, it's hard and you're just taking the first step. So wherever you are in your journey, I hope you join me again next Sunday at 5 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time on YouTube as well as Instagram, so that I can help support you and you can parent with me as you get through these challenging years with your team. So until next time.